I would love to ask you, basically in a nutshell, what were some of the first ways that you leveraged AI to in your business?
So it was definitely in social media. That was my main focus. Okay, so social media is definitely a method of prospecting. No matter how many agents want to agree with me or not, it's how I generated 95% of my business my entire career. So the one thing I think that people are getting wrong is social media prospecting is the same as any other method of prospecting traditionally. You need to be spending 3 to 5 hours a day, 5 days a week doing it to actually generate business. There's a difference between posting a sold stamped picture or a new listing on Instagram and providing value to attract business. So that's what I specialized in. I was really good in it, but it's time consuming. Like, you're creating content, thought has to go into it. And then there's the uncomfortable aspect of being on camera and putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, because that's something else you have to do. Social media is not an easy button. And I think most agents think it is. And when they figure out it's not, they just drop the ball on it. Because I started coaching social media, realtors in social media, it was different for them. AI made them more comfortable and more confident in what they were talking about and made it bearable for them to show up on camera. Um, and that's huge as well, because listen, nobody likes to create content, nobody likes to film video. My assistant has to literally chase me down every week to shoot my film. I will come up with every single excuse as possible, and sometimes not wash my hair just so I can say, oh, I didn't wash my hair, I can't film. Like, this is the reality of it. Nobody enjoys doing it. If it looks like we do, we don't. We just do it because it's the difference between eating and starving.
I think that like you could, with the right content and the right strategy for your social media marketing, it can be way more effective and can generate leads with a really smaller following than most people may realize. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. Like, I've got agents that have maybe 1,000 followers or under, and they're still generating business. They're picking up, 3, 4 buyers a month. I think that's wonderful. Like, where else? It's not so much like it used to be all about your followers. It's not anymore. You can have one follower and go viral and get a million views. That's what it's about right now. So don't pay attention to how many followers somebody has. That doesn't make them legitimate. That doesn't make you legitimate. And there's a lot of pretenders out there. You can buy followers, you can buy likes, you can buy shares, you can buy comments. And it was something I was never interested in doing, because I'm very like specific about keeping track of who's watching my stuff and who's commenting, and I'm very methodical in how I reach out to them, like after maybe they've liked a couple of my stories or made a comment on my post. If you have a bunch of bots following you and commenting and liking stuff, you're not going to be able to see all of the important information that will actually generate you business, right? So be very careful. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there.
But wouldn't you say that when it comes to that know, like, and trust, and I completely agree, whether it's a client coming to you directly or it's a referral is traditionally a transfer of trust, right? That's
Yeah.
by definition, that's what it is. Wouldn't you say that video is key
Oh,
in establishing and growing that know, like, trust?
yeah. Video is so important. I put pictures up every once in a while and they get a lot of likes, but my video translates my value, right?
Hmm.
Have an opinion. There's so many realtors towing the line because they don't want to have a real opinion, afraid to, you know, alienate a group of people. I would rather have 5 people trust me and align with who I really am authentically and my belief system than 100 people who will never use me because there's no authenticity there, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what will happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. Could you share like a practical example of your early experience with AI and how you implemented it into your social media marketing? What would be a simple practical example that listeners would understand?
I think that okay. So I learned AI by sitting in Reddit chats and Discord groups with computer engineers while they were inventing prompt engineering. So I didn't know how it was going on. I'm not a computer person. I just inserted myself in there and I'm like, I'm going to learn. So early on, I learned how to speak to an LLM, a large language model chatbot like ChatGPT or Gemini or Grok or Claude. I learned how to get what I wanted out of it at a high level. So once I was able, okay, so I actually build GPTs too. And the way I build them is because I do my research. I don't just say, okay, I want you to be able to write video scripts for me for social media or for Instagram. I don't do that. I dive deep into what the top marketing agencies do to analyze avatars and identify targets and build out personas and pain points. And I just plug a current system that somebody at a high level is doing into the AI as that system that they're always to follow. And that's how I get really good content, scripts, whatever. I'm not reinventing anything, and I'm not letting the AI willy-nilly do whatever it wants and find its own way and give me an answer without much direction. I'm setting tight parameters that are, systems that the best of the best have created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think that for a lot of marketing, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel, right? It's a lot of the work has been done, and just simply adapting it to your industry, your needs makes total sense to me.
Yeah, so that's what I did from the beginning, and that's why I started creating these GPTs and these wizards and these AI agents, is because I do so much research into, like, I don't just say, hey, let's create a GPT for YouTube. I do weeks and weeks of research into how to create a title. I give it explicit instructions. I'm not going to leave AI to its own devices to find what it thinks I need. I'm going to tell it the proven system so that it can always follow them. Like, I'm not leaving anything to chance, because that way I can use it, or a 10-year-old can use it and always produce absolute banger content with it, because the parameters are set so tight that nobody can mess it up. If the less parameters you set and the less direction you give it, the bigger the chances that somebody that understands this at a high level has to be involved in the process. You need to remove that, right?
You were spending 4 to 5 hours a day on content creation, outreach, marketing. AI helped you reduce that to just 1 hour a week. And now you have developed a system that you can help other realtors achieve the same thing. A couple of things that I know that you're offering: AI assistant for realtors and AI solution coaching program. Can you share some details about those two programs?
Yeah, so the AI solution started out as like your AI training 2 years ago. I quickly realized that the agents who need to use AI don't necessarily have the time to learn it. So it quickly morphed into more of as much of a done-for-you solution as possible, hence the name, where I basically built over 20 custom GPTs and AI agents to do everything in every area of your business. Like, it's going to make if you have an admin, your admin's going to like kiss the ground you walk on if you give them this. And that was great, but then I noticed something else. Agents are paying thousands of dollars for something that is irrelevant a month later. AI trainings that are no longer applicable right after they take it. And I was like, what is my solution to this? So the solution is I have a lifetime access community and program now that's updated and added to every single month. It's step by step, all the tools they need, made by me, made by a realtor for a realtor, the steps they need to take to implement it. And there's more content as AI advances. Like, I'm just recording my how-to on how to build your AI twin, because I feel like the new HeyGen model is finally at a place where we can use it safely without looking like complete morons, right? So like, it's all about, this is your one-stop shop for everything AI you'll ever need for your business. And you don't have to think about it. No like yearly cost, no subscription cost, none of that crap. I'm just trying to make AI accessible to everybody.
Anything else you'd like to add before we close?
No, people have to just get your head out of your asses. AI isn't just leverage. AI is freedom. It's the future. Our lives are going to look a lot different, and they're going to look pretty nice. So get on board.
I love it. What's the Instagram handle?
Carrie Soave and Associates.
Perfect. Again, I'll have the link in the show notes. Carrie, really, really appreciate you connecting. Thanks so much for joining the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.